Scranton story, like many people, is complicated. On my mother's side of the family, we're Irish, so potato famine, all that good stuff. My great-great-grandmother, great, came over as an indentured servant during the potato famine. My father, when I was a kid, he always used to say, we're Rusnacks. And we all thought that was some cute way of saying Russian. And so we've been telling people we're Russian, but actually Rusnak is a thing. I didn't know that until I found this out. The Carpatho-Russin people, that there's not a lot of them left because they kind of got all diaspora'd away. My grandfather used to play, he played fiddle for a local band, a couple local bands. And then whenever the big bands came to town, they usually called him. So he played with Glenn Miller and Count Basie and all of that. And he played for the vaudeville houses, like the Comerford and the Strand. I tried for the longest time not to be connected to Scranton. Growing up as a gay kid, and I knew I was gay from like 10 or 11, going to Catholic school, that was fun. All I really wanted to do was get the hell out of here. So after high school, I told my parents, I want to move to California. And they said, here's a one-way plane ticket, which was very nice of them. And so I went out there and I lived there for a year and realized, ooh, the real world is difficult. I was working 2 jobs to pay rent, which was an outrageous $500 a month at the time. We're talking 1979. So I can't even imagine what the rent is like out there now. It must be like $2,000-$3,000 a month. And I went out there because I wanted to write for television and movies and act. And there was no time to write. So I was like, what is the point of this? So then I came back like a bad penny and said, maybe I should get a college degree first. So I went to the U and fell in with the bad crowd there, you know, the theater kids, singing musical songs and whatnot. So I did that for 4 years, and that was like having 2 full-time jobs because you carry a full load of credits, and then you go to rehearsal every night, and I did every show that came up, every show. In one way or another. I think I've done every job possible in a theater company. And then when I graduated from there, it was 1984, which, AIDS epidemic. Which, thinking about coming out during the AIDS epidemic was scary. And one of my professors who I love, Dr. Zoller, there should be a statue to him on the U's campus. He had it, and it was sad. He went fast. And I was like, I have to get the hell out of here, because people were awful. So I moved to Philadelphia for 10 years, maybe. Met a guy, had a nice relationship. He got AIDS. Well, he had AIDS. He must have been exposed to it before I met him, because I was crazy about safe sex. And then when he died, long story short, I was like, maybe I'll go back home. Because my parents were getting old. My brother and sister both had kids, which rendered them not a lot of help in the late night emergency phone call department. So I moved back, and here I am. That's been since 1997, so don't make me do math. I don't have enough coffee. And I've been here since, so having been in Los Angeles and having been in Philadelphia, it's really not a bad place. As much as people would like to piss and moan about it, it's a good place to have a family. When I lived in Philly, and a friend of mine had a baby, and she wanted me to be the godfather. And, to be the godfather, you have to get a piece of paper signed by the church going, He's a good Catholic. So I went to the Catholic outreach group to the gay community down there and said, can you sign something? He's like, where's this for? And I said, Scranton. He goes, oh, they're still in the dark ages up there. He said, they won't accept my signature for that. So that was my feeling. And when I came back, I told him the story in my story slam was when I moved back here, I had a little teeny tiny rainbow flag on the bumper of my car. And I was driving down Wyoming Avenue and someone screams out of their window at me, I hate fucking fags. That was 1997. And I screamed back, well, stop fucking them then. True story. But you know, there's the same sort of stuff swirling around again. You know, the whole drag queen, trans people, fear-mongering stuff that's going on. It's cranking all that up again because people are afraid of something not themselves, you know. So yeah, there's that. That's always fun. Never piss off a drag queen, let me tell you. Don't do it. I think I have a fairly Scranton attitude of, if you're stupid enough to ask me to do something, I'm stupid enough to say yes. You know, I've gotten a lot of interesting experiences that way. That's how I wound up doing locations on the infamous Paul Sorvino movie. It's like, I don't know, sure, I'll do it. Why not? What do I do? So Scrantonians do tend to fake it till they make it and bluster their way through, and I'm good at that. I don't think my hopes for America could differ at all from my hopes for Scranton. My hopes for Scranton are the hopes for America. I mean, people have to get their shit together and take care of each other and be a country again instead of this divisive, you know, preschool temper tantrum we're in right now. I come from a long line of politically active people. My grandmother used to be a committee woman. She was a Republican committee woman, if you can imagine. I had to wait till after she died to register as a Democrat. But she had us working the polls when we were kids. We used to, you know, as soon as we were of age, we were poll watchers. We were passing out flyers. We were doing all that stuff because she understood that that's where the sausage is made. If you don't like anything that's going on around you, it's because you're not. It's what's the garbage in, garbage out. If you're not putting the right people in there, you're not going to get the right stuff out again. And I'm not a partisan guy. I don't care who you vote for. Just go vote. The more people that vote is what makes democracy work.